Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live. Tonight, we are going to be talking about how to post about the business. But real quick, a few announcements. Convention contest ends this month. This is not the slide that I actually wanted to share. What I actually wanted to share is that we have a team party at convention in Vegas this year. So if you have not already registered for that or sent April your money for that, we do have a deadline to have the event paid for by. So if you, and I think it's payday now. Yes, it is. So if you are coming to convention, could you please go ahead and send April your money? The information for her Venmo is on the post in Plexus Freedom Team about the team party. So go ahead and get that taken care of. Get your spot saved. If you're bringing a guest, make sure you pay for your guest too. But we're excited about this event. It's going to be super fun. Okay. Also, congratulations to these ladies who have already earned their walking pads this month. They have either enrolled 6 or they have enrolled 3 and developed a silver. So that's Ginger Griffin, Deirdre Gillard, Tiffany Jordan, Chelsea Hoffmeyer, and Jamie Summers. Congrats, ladies, on earning your walking pad. You're going to love it. I definitely love mine. And congratulations to these ladies who have already ranked up this month. Tiffany Jordan hit senior silver, Jenny and Gina hit silver. So congratulations on our April rank up so far. All right, so let's jump into the training tonight. So the first thing that you need to know about posting about the business is that business builders are created. They're not found. So last week I told you guys to make a post about the business, and tonight I want to share with you a little more detail about how you can do that, even if you don't feel successful at the business yet. You can still effectively post about the business opportunity. But before we even jump into how to post, I have to lay the foundation for what is going to determine whether or not you're able to create quality content about the business or even effectively share about the business or have conversations that create business builders. Your level of success with creating business builders depends on 3 things: what you're thinking and believing, your willingness to do the actual work, and then your level of skill in communicating with people about the business opportunity and also in understanding what actually needs to be communicated. Okay. Notice how the skill of creating business builders, it's number 3 on this list, and that is intentional. Because the number 1 success indicator is belief that it is possible for you to create business builders. The number 2 success indicator, and whether or not you actually will be successful in creating business builders or not, is your willingness to do the uncomfortable work. If you're not doing the work of telling people about the business opportunity or telling enough people about the business opportunity, then you're not going to get results. You won't be successful with creating business builders. And then number 3, obviously, you're going to have some skill. Okay. Anytime you endeavor in something new, there are skills that have to be learned. That's true. You could literally get a job at McDonald's and you'd have to learn how to run a cash register and what's on the menu. And you'd have to learn some new skills. When you became a mom, if you're a mom, you had to learn some new skills when you became a mother, right? So this is no different. For something that is going to pay you and reward you as much as this business opportunity does, know that it does not require a college degree, but it 100% requires you to have some skill, and that's going to require you to learn. Okay. So I can teach you the skills, but if you don't have belief to support those actions that I'm going to ask you to take, especially since the actions are uncomfortable, how consistent do you think you're going to be with taking the action. Or you could be the most skilled person in the world, but if you don't actually believe that having that skill is valuable and that it's going to produce the result that you want, how long are you going to continue to take the uncomfortable actions if you don't believe that it's going to work? So we've got to talk about mindset. Okay. So why do people choose this business model of network marketing? Why would they choose that? There's tons of reasons why somebody would choose this business model. And I would say that all of the reasons that you can think of, they probably there's some variation of one of these three reasons, okay? Either they want to make more money, or they want more time flexibility, or they want community. So maybe for more money, maybe they want extra income, or maybe they want financial freedom. That's a variation of the same thing. Or maybe they want extra income on the way to financial freedom. Maybe they want flexibility in their work hours versus having somebody else determine and dictate their schedule. They don't want to have a boss who tells them when they have to come to work and that they can't go to their kid's soccer game because they're needed at work that night, or they have to, put their kid in daycare against their wishes. Like they just really want to be able to work, they want to be able to contribute, but they want to do it on their own terms. So flexibility, it's kind of like when you have time flexibility and you can choose your own hours, it's kind of like the new flex these days, right? So there's plenty of people who are drawn to a laptop lifestyle, making an impact or earning an income, but doing it on their own terms. And so that's a huge draw to this business model. Or sometimes people they want community. Sometimes people are just flat out here because of the people that they have been connected with in the community. Sometimes they're here because it looks like fun. We have a lot of fun. Maybe they start this business because they wanted to earn a free trip. Maybe they start because they wanted to earn an Apple Watch. Sometimes it's prizes. Sometimes it's just the fun and the community. But either way, they have a need, and this business model meets a need for them. All right, I'm trying to figure out how to get the video off of my notes. All right, so this meets a need for them somehow. So I want to give you guys some examples of people that you probably know who chose to build a network marketing business and why. So I definitely chose this because I was a homeschooling mom. We had one income. We had 5 kids at the time. And I just wanted to be able to say more. Like say yes to more. I wanted to be home with my kids. It was not an option for me to go and get a job, or I wanted to be with my kids. That was my top priority. But at the same time, I was very interested in building wealth. And I actually was looking for ways to do that from home. I thought it was going to be through real estate investing, but come to find out, you need capital to do that, which I did not have. And so I started this business to earn money so that I could start a real estate business. Turns out I love this way more than I could ever love investing in real estate. So here I am all these years later, still doing what I do because I love it. But I started because I wanted some extra income, but my sponsor showed me what the diamonds were making, and I was like, wow, what if I could do that? I mean, I was blown away by that. But y'all, I made $700 in like my second month, maybe my first or second month. And I was blown away by it. It excited me so much as a stay-at-home mom who had never had a career. That $700 was everything to me. It made a world of difference. It made me feel like I was contributing something significant. It made me feel like I was making a difference. For me to be able to make that much money, I obviously was doing something well. It meant a lot to me. It excited me so much. And I wanted to tell everybody about it. My belief in this opportunity was through the roof. Maybe not in myself, maybe my confidence in myself wasn't through the roof, but my belief in what this opportunity could mean for people was definitely through the roof. And I just knew if I could make $700, anybody sure enough could. Because I just was like, I'm an introvert. I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't know that many people. I'm shy and I don't have any experience or skill here. And yet here I am making hundreds of dollars that really just gave us breathing room. That is what it did. It gave us breathing room, but I was working toward a bigger vision too. But even while I was working toward my bigger vision, that $700 made all the difference in the world for me. It built my belief. All right, Christina. She was a school teacher and she was living on a fixed income. No matter how hard she would teach, or she could be teacher of the year, it's not going to make a difference for whether or not she could take her kids to Disney that year. No matter how great of a teacher she was and how much she invested in the lives of those kids and the quality of their education and did her job well, she was still going to struggle to pay for travel soccer, cheerleading camp, and take her kids on vacations and provide experiences with them for them while they were young. And so she started because she wanted an extra $1,000 a month. Michelle is married to an attorney. He provides well for their family. They have 3 kids, but they also were living on a fixed income. And she wanted more margin. She wanted to take her kids to travel internationally, and she wanted just more margin for her family and to be able to say yes to more for her family. And she wanted impact. I remember the first conversation I had with Michelle about the business, I told her, I'm making a 6-figure income. And she leaned into that. She was very intrigued by that. And I also said, Michelle, if you're good at sales, you can supplement your income here. But I'm telling you, if you're a good leader, you can earn financial freedom here. And that spoke to Michelle because she already was a leader. And so she was, before we had a conversation, was in no way interested in network marketing. She had done it before. She had also, and she didn't like it. It just wasn't for her. She also had some slimy people approach her just like in public out of the blue. And she's just like, there's no way I'll ever be that person. But when she had a personal connection with somebody who could show her how to do it well and show her how to get big results and meet needs of her family and change her life while using her gifts to make an impact, that resonated with her. So that's why Michelle chose this business model. Jana is a senior Ruby, and she chose this business model because her husband was stressed out over finances and she wanted to take some of the pressure off of him. She was a homeschooling mom. She wanted to put her kids in private school, and this was a good fit. She loves wellness. She loves health. She loves fitness, nutrition. She actually has a degree in health sciences, I think. So it was a great fit for her because it's something she's passionate about that she can serve others well while being a mom. It just fit in her life and it made perfect sense for her. All right, Kayleen. Kayleen's a pastor's wife, and they had 5 kids when she started this. So stressed out because she had a furniture refinishing business that she was actually like at her breaking point with it. She had an unhappy customer, and it was like thousands of dollars that they had paid her to do this job, and then they didn't like it, and they were really ugly to her about it, and she didn't have the money to pay them back. She was really, really stressed, and money was really, really tight. And this made sense for her family and her lifestyle, especially since she loved the products. Okay, so that's why somebody like Kayleen chose this business model as a pastor's wife. April was a speech therapist, so she was a professional, and she had she could have had a successful career in speech therapy, but she lives a military lifestyle. She's married to a pilot, and she knew that they were going to be moving all over, and every single time they'd have to relocate, she would have to get reestablished somewhere. But really her heart's desire was to be at home with her kids. And so that's what this business has allowed her to do. She's now a diamond in the company, and she is a stay-at-home mom. And every single time they have moved, which since she started this business, it has been, I don't know if I can count on one hand how many times they've moved just since she started this business in the last several years, but they've moved frequently. And this business is something that she can do anywhere. So again, it gives her the income opportunity. She makes way more than she would as a speech therapist, and she gets to choose her own hours and do this in her own terms. We have Terry, who was not looking for extra income because she was living a very comfortable lifestyle. Her and her husband were doing really well in their careers, but Christina invited her to a Plexus event that we were hosting at Christina's house, a training we were doing. And so Terry showed up and she loved the community. She decided to do this business not because she needed the extra money, or even like the time. She was doing really well already, but what she did need was the quality of the people that she met when she came to that Plexus event. And now here Terry is, one of our best friends, one of the top leaders on our team, serving people well. And it was the community that got Terry to start a business like this. Okay. And then we have Emily. So Emily, when I met her, she took one look at the very top of the comp plan and she said, that's where I'm going. She knew she was going to be earning a Plexus Lexus. She knew she was going to be earning Hawaii trips. She knew she was going to be earning 5-figure a month paychecks. She knew all of that from the very beginning, and all of it was intriguing to her. So I would say Emily is an anomaly. Most people don't look at this and immediately think, I'm doing that and I'm going to the top. But there are people who do think that, who believe it and are willing to do that. Okay. And another thing that I want to point out is that the only person on this screen whose upline could say to them, I'm earning 6 figures, you should do this too, was Michelle Stuchel. Nobody else on this screen that you see, that nobody else's upline could have said that. When Christina joined me, I was not earning 6 figures. When Emily joined me, I was not earning 6 figures. Actually, I think when Jana joined me, I think I was earning 6 figures. When Terry joined, Christina was not earning 6 figures. When April joined, Christina was not earning 6 figures. When Kayleen joined, her upline was not earning 6 figures, right? So it's Michelle and Jana. Out of everybody on this screen, I could have said, I'm earning 6 figures. But so how did we get all these other people? Well, we were casting vision. We were talking to people about what this could do for them. We were connecting with them and understanding what their needs were and what their desires were for their life, and showing them how this could be a solution for them. All right. So here's 8 examples of people who want this, who saw this opportunity for what it is and decided that they're going all in and they're going after it. And there are so many more people out there, y'all, that will want this, even though it is hard. Let that sink in. Even though it is hard, we all see the value in it. Okay. So I have a friend, Mandy Ralph. She's a nurse practitioner. She went to school for umpteen years to get multiple graduate degrees so that she could be a nurse practitioner. Do you think that was hard? Yes. Did it keep her from wanting to do it? No. She did it, right? Did she have challenges along the way? Yes, absolutely. Were there days where she felt like she'd want to quit? I'm sure. Were there days that she probably wondered why she was even doing this and second guessed herself because it felt so hard? I'm sure, but she did it, right? And that is just the process of success. Anything worthwhile is going to feel hard. Otherwise, everybody would do it. But just because this business is hard, it doesn't mean that's going to scare people away from wanting to do it. There are people out there that embrace challenges. They're actually fueled by a challenge, by the conquering or the overcoming of something. It gives them a sense of achievement and accomplishment, right? To be able to do something that most people won't do. And it's not that it's something that people can't do, it's something that most people won't do because it requires uncomfortable work and it requires hard work. Okay. But even though this business is hard, there are still people who see the value in it because they'll be driven by the vision. And you don't need a ton of people in order to be crazy successful. Let me let you guys know something. Every single time, there's all kinds of network marketing conferences and events and conventions and things that happen all over the country all the time. Okay. But there's always an illustration that they do on stage. They'll bring up top earners from multiple different companies. Doesn't even matter what network marketing company it is, top earners from different companies. And they will ask them, how many people have you personally sponsored into your business for the business, okay? For the business. We're talking about recruiting. I'm not talking about customers. How many people have you personally signed up who said, yes, I would like to make money in some capacity? And the average number is 100. For the top earners in the company, average number of people they signed up who said, yeah, I would like to make money, 100 people. And then they will ask, out of the 100, how many of those make you the most money? And it is unanimous. Every single one of them will say either 2 or 3. Either 2 or 3 people who are hungry for this like you are. 2 or 3 people who they have the vision. They are as committed and are as willing to work hard and overcome challenges as you are. When you have 3 of those, you will go to the top. And there are people who will see this vision with you, okay? For every example of somebody who wants this, just want you to know, I could give you 50 to 100 examples of somebody who it was not a fit for. And that is okay. That doesn't matter. That is normal. It's not going to be a fit for everybody. You're not looking for everybody. You're looking for the ones who it is a fit for. So don't personalize rejection. If somebody rejects this opportunity, if they're absolutely not interested, and you have followed up with, you've shared the opportunity, and they just don't have the vision for it that you do because it's not a fit for them, don't assume that because one dream teamer was not interested, that all of your dream teamers will not be interested. That's not true. Don't personalize 1 or 2 people's rejection or disinterest of this opportunity and apply that to every prospect out there. Don't let somebody's lack of interest in what you're offering let it mean for you that nobody's going to be interested, because you will be selling yourself short if you allow one person's lack of interest in this to be pervasive in your thinking about thinking that nobody's going to be interested in it, because people will be interested in it. You just have to find those people. Okay. All right. But let's talk about gold bricks. If I were to tell you there is a gold brick buried in your backyard, and when you find it, I mean, that gold brick is worth $1 million. Would you be willing to do the work to go and find the brick? I think it would depend on, well, before I even get to that, let me just ask you this. If you found a gold brick, let's just say you found a gold brick, or somebody that you care about found a gold brick, what would you or somebody you care about be able to do with that gold brick? I would say type it in the chat, but I can't see the chat. So I'd love to interact with y'all, but I can't actually see the chat. But I do want you guys to think about what the gold brick would allow somebody to be able to accomplish. Okay. Would it allow them to stay home with their kids? Would it allow them to take their family on vacations, or pay off crushing burdens of debt, or be able to spend money on themselves without feeling guilty? What would that gold brick allow somebody to be able to do? Okay. That's the first thing we need to think about. The next thing is, if you really believed that there was a gold brick back there that was worth $1 million, how would you work? Like, how would that determine your level of effort in finding that brick if you truly believed there was a gold brick and all you had to do was go and find it? You would work hard. You would do whatever it took to find the gold brick. You'd be willing to invest. You may even invest in an excavator of sorts. Like, you would hire people to help you. Like, you would do whatever it took to find the gold brick if you believed that it existed, that it was there, and that it was available. You would do whatever it took, okay? But how would you work if you did not believe that the gold brick was actually there? You might start out excited, but then when it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the heat of the day and it's 100 degrees outside and sweat's pouring down and your skin's getting burned, would you keep working through the adversity and the challenge? Especially if you did this day after day after day with no result. If you didn't truly believe that the gold brick was actually there, how long would you persist in taking uncomfortable action in order to find the gold brick? I think the answer is very obvious. Let me ask you this. We're going to go a little bit deeper with this. How would you respond to other people's success when they found their gold bricks if you believed that you would find one too? You would likely be very inspired by their success and you'd probably dig a little harder. But if you did not believe you would find one too, how would you then respond when your neighbor found their gold brick? You probably would seep into comparison. You probably feel jealous. You wouldn't let it inspire you. You probably would let it shut you down. So just know that those issues are all in your mind and it's all what you're thinking and believing. So if you don't believe that there are people who will see the value in this opportunity, even though it's hard, you are going to be focused on the people who don't want this. That's where your focus is going to be. And it's always going to hurt. Instead of you focusing on the people who would want this, you're always going to be thinking about the rejection of the people who didn't want it. And beating yourself up wondering, why can't I figure out how to get these people to want it? If you don't believe that there are people who will see the value in this opportunity, even though it's hard, you're probably not going to share, either you're not going to share the business opportunity at all, or you're going to have a really hard time posting about it because you don't believe it. You won't ask the magic question and listen so that you can offer people perspective that will allow you to allow them to have a transformation and change their lives. You won't handle their objections. You won't cast vision for them about what their potential is if you don't believe that people would be willing to do this, even though it's hard. You won't follow up about the business opportunity, even if you did share. You won't follow up long enough if you're believing that nobody's going to want to do it or that people generally don't want to do it. You probably won't even take the time to learn the skills of how to do this effectively. So here's, what does it even look like to be willing to learn the skills? Because I know y'all hear me say that a lot. What does that look like? It looks like you watch or listen to trainings on the one topic that's holding you up in your business. You get so laser focused on one thing that you know you have to master. And it could be one small thing in your recruiting or creating business builders or even your retention, like something in your business. When you're really buckling down to learn the skills, imagine yourself taking a class. Like if you, let's just say you're going to learn how to, I don't know, let's just say be a school teacher. What would it look like to learn the skills? Well, you would sign yourself up to get a degree. You would take some classes. You'd be hitting the books. You would be making sacrifices, right? If you're a mom with taking college classes, it's going to look like you're at the soccer game, probably studying while you're sitting there doing other things, right? If you'd be serious about it, you would do whatever it took to learn how to do your job well, because you know that at the end of that course or this college degree, there's going to be an opportunity on the other side of it that you want. Okay. So this is no different. You're going to have to be willing to learn the skills. So what that looks like is watching or listening to trainings on the one thing that's holding you up. If that's creating business builders, then you get serious about learning how to create business builders. It's a skill. And while you're learning, you're taking action. And while you're taking action, you're tracking what's working and what's not. You can do split tests. Reach out to 50 people this way, reach out to 50 people that way. See which one gets you the best results. And then take that got the best results and do another split test. Reach out to 50 more people like that, and then 50 more people with a tweaked version of the way that worked best the first time. And you just keep that process going as you're taking action and you're putting the work in and you're analyzing what worked and what didn't. You get better and better and better. And while you're taking this action, which by the way is very uncomfortable, because it requires vulnerability, and you got to kind of put yourself out there and ask people to do things and overcome your fears and stop thinking about yourself and start thinking more about them and their transformation. As you're taking all this action, you have to stay close to the fire to keep your belief high so that you continue to take the right action. So, do y'all believe that there are people who, if they decided that they were going to build this business, that it would change their life forever? Do you really believe that? Do you believe that there are people who, if they were part of our community, it would change their lives forever? You have to be willing to tell people about it. Did you know that when fear comes up, that it's because we're actually thinking of ourselves? Fear is actually a selfish emotion. We all have it. We all battle it in some capacity or another, right? But just know that when you're feeling fearful, it's because you're thinking about yourself. Fear of scaring people off, fear of rejection, fear of failing. All of those fears, they have the same root, and it's the fear of judgment. And when we're so afraid of being judged, we're not focused on how we can serve people well. We're not focused on how this can actually solve their problems. All right, so that being said, let's talk about how to post about the business. So just know that the purpose of posting on social media is marketing and lead generation. All business is actually in the conversations. So marketing is not sales. When you're posting, you may, every once in a while, you might have somebody come to you because you've done a great job with your marketing and that it's piqued their interest. But most of the time, what's going to happen, the purpose of your post is to start conversations. So if you are at least starting conversations with your marketing, then I would say your content is effective. Okay. So I'm just saying, when you post, don't expect people are going to come to you and want to know what you're offering and tell me more and all that stuff. Okay. So marketing is simply just showing people how you can meet a need that they have. So again, the purpose is not sales to get everybody to come to you. The purpose is to start conversations. And the best way to do that is through storytelling. So facts tell, stories sell, and that's true for the products too. And people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So when it comes to posting about the business, you're going to have to learn to effectively share your story. And if you don't feel successful yet, you have to share about why you chose this business model, this company, this team, whatever it is that brought you here. People don't buy what you do. You're not selling Plexus. You're not selling a business opportunity. You're selling you and your why, because people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. So you're going to be sharing why. Okay. So that means you learn to speak to your prospects' fears and desires by telling stories. A lot of times it'll be your own story. Sometimes you'll tell other people's stories. Once you get good at telling your story, you will, or once you have the story will be kind of like the body of your post. Then you'll add a hook to grab people's attention at the top. And then you'll add a call to action at the end, tell people what you want them to do. And then you always post with a scroll stopping picture. And of course, this is for Facebook. Okay. That is the platform that most of us use. So that's what we're talking about tonight. All right. How to tell your story. So when you tell your story, people will see themselves in your story, and they're going to see their own needs in your story. And when I say that they're going to see themselves in your story, I don't mean in your circumstance, because they may actually have very different circumstances than you, but what they need to know so that they can relate to is your feelings surrounding your circumstance. Okay. So this is how you tell your story effectively. You start with your background. This is what my life was like. Here's what I did not like about it. I found a solution. Here's how I feel about the future. Okay, this applies to the products too. But for the business, it could be, I was a homeschooling mom. I didn't like how we had to say no to a lot because we were a one income family. And I didn't like how my husband was oftentimes missing at the dinner table because he was working multiple jobs to provide for us and he had to work so hard. Um, and I felt like I was single momming it a lot of times. I felt frustrated. I felt lonely. Like, I'm going to share my emotions. I found a solution. Here's an opportunity that would allow me to give some margin. And then here's how I feel about the future. Excited. Generally, I feel excited all of the time because I'm always working toward my goals, and possibilities just really excite me. Infinite possibilities are freaking exciting to me. And I hope they are to you too. So you need to get good at telling your story. Now, when you're telling your story in a voice message or in a conversation, you need to be able to say all this in 2 minutes or less. Okay. But if you're telling this in a post, you got to put it in one paragraph or less. Okay. So the most important part of this whole entire story, it's not part one. It's not even part 3 or part 4. It's part 2. This is the most important part of this story. Okay. This is the moneymaker. Because people, when they make decisions with their emotions. And then later they justify their decisions with logic. But right here, this is where people are going to relate to you. This is where people will see themselves in your story. And it's not just about, if you're talking about the products, it's not just about physical ailments. Like if you have IBS, I mean, obviously that's some stomach pain and some other issues, like got to be close to the bathroom at all times if you're in public, things like that. You're going to have bloating, you're going to have issues. But we're not just talking about physical ailments. We're talking about emotional. Like, how does that affect you emotionally? If you have IBS, you feel ashamed, you feel embarrassed, you feel frustrated, you probably feel unattractive. Sometimes you might feel gross, but there's a lot of emotions that are attached to those symptoms, right? If you have migraines, obviously that's physically painful, but what are the emotions that come up over that? Maybe frustration because you feel incompetent, you feel like you can't get anything done. You might feel like you're not being a good mom to your kids because you are in pain and can't really function because of the migraines. Like, there's a lot of emotions that come up even if the ailments are physical. All right, so that's about the products. But in terms of the business, when you're describing what you didn't like about it, you have to describe the emotions because that's what people are going to connect with. Okay. When you get good at telling your story in creative ways, then it makes your messaging, when you go to reach out to people to invite them to take a look at what you're offering, whether it's your products or your business, this is the type of content that makes your messages effective, that gets people to want to respond to you in the first place. Because if you message them, what's the first thing they're going to do before they even respond? They're going to your profile, they're scoping you out, and they need to see something there that draws them in. And what draws them in is emotions. Okay. So you really got to think about how you felt about a particular circumstance that you had. Okay. All right. The hook. So once you have written the story, then you add a hook at the top. And here's some examples of good ones that you could use. These are just examples. You don't have to use any of these. Sometimes you can just create, like, the hook is just like the one-liner at the top that gets somebody to read the rest of the story. Okay. So the one that hook, it's very important if you want people to read the whole body of the post. The hook is imperative because it's what grabs their attention apart from the picture. The picture is also imperative. Your picture needs to have good lighting. It needs to be attractive. It needs to be something that if they're, in the line at Chick-fil-A drive-through and they have 30 seconds and they're just scrolling social media, that picture is what causes somebody to stop the scroll and go back up and read the caption. But if that hook doesn't grab their attention, there's a lot of other content they can consume that's interesting. So attention is the new currency these days. You have to grab attention with a good image and with a good hook. So here are some examples of hooks you could use. All right. And then we're out of time. I have some examples of posts to show you, and I didn't have tons of time to go gather all my favorite ones from around the interwebs. But I knew that I had written several ones that included like a hook and my story and a call to action and all those things. Oh, I forgot to talk about the call to action. You definitely have to tell people what you want them to do. Okay. So whether it's drop a comment or message me for more info or register for this webinar or whatever it is, you definitely need a call to action on your business post. Okay. But here, this is a post where I was announcing that I'm going to be hosting a webinar. You can see that it does have a hook because I'm talking directly to my ideal person, and there's a call to action. And then this one is a post that was speaking to fears. So I said on the other slide that when you are posting about the business opportunity, that you really want to speak to people's fears. And so this covered several of the fears. Basically, this covered fear of failing because I don't know that many people, or I don't have the personality for it, or I don't have a lot of time. Those are all fears. And I had all those, but I overcame them. And so I'm sharing my story here. And then there's a call to action. And my picture was our team picture that shows, hey, I've been successful anyway, even though I didn't have, personality or influence or time on my side. Okay. All right. Here's one that speaks to fears. This is fear of what people would think. So here's my hook. What I was more afraid of than what people would think: staying where I was at, not reaching my potential, not being able to afford the life we wanted for our kids. Do you think people would resonate with that? There's going to be people reading this who resonate with that. They feel that they understand how all of that feels, and they're going to keep reading. And then there's a call to action. All right. Here, this one speaks to desires. So this one is just about vision. And I'm saying, what if it's not a daydream that you have? What if it's actually vision for your family's future? That's my hook. I think everybody has desires for their family, but oftentimes people talk themselves out of their desires and talk themselves into being content with where they're at because they don't realize they have options. And I'm here to tell them they do. And I tell them by sharing my story. And then I have a call to action. This was one April did, I thought was really good. So she had her little daughter. Obviously, her daughter was not feeling well. Her little nose is red. Every mom knows what that's like. And so then April's just saying, I'm thankful that my daughter's not at daycare today. Like, I'm the one snuggling her. And then she's just like sharing her story and sharing what's in it for them. And then there's a call to action. Message me, let's chat. Okay. Abby, this was a really good one she did. She has a good hook. If you were offered a solution that could change everything for your family, would you take it? And then she's very clear. It requires hard work. She's like, does Abby look like somebody who thinks that people are not going to want to do this because it's hard? She doesn't strike me as the type in this post, right? She knows it's worth it. And so she's showing up like it's worth it. There's her hook. Here's her story. Here's her call to action. Let's talk to see if this might be, or what this might look for you. All right. Here's one that Emily did. Here's her good hook. Not even going to lie. I cried when I saw it. Who's not going to read that? Like, what made you cry, Emily? You're not a crier. But she's sharing her story. She's sharing her vision. She's sharing her struggles. She's sharing her dreams. She's sharing her story, and then she's sharing what's in it for them. And then call to action. We should talk. All right. Here's one that Haley did. Here's her hook. Extra income isn't just a couple of fun words to say. It's breathing room. It's provision. And then, like, she's casting vision. Like, this graphic alone casts vision. And she's telling people what's in it for them. And here's her call to action. Shoot me a message. All right. So there's examples of how to post about the business. But again, you can have all the examples in the world. And oh gosh, my computer is about to die. I can teach you the skills. But if you don't have the belief to back up the skills do you no good. Okay? So I want you guys to think about what you are thinking about this business. Did you post about the business over the last week? And if not, why not? You need to be clear on that. What held you back from doing it? And then going forward, talking to people about the business, what are you believing? Are you believing in their transformation? Are you believing that there are people who will catch the vision with you Even though this is hard, what are you thinking and believing? And then once you're clear on that and you have your belief that is built, take action. Take action, learn the skills, learn how to post effectively about the business. We have plenty of great leaders on our team who we have lots more that I could not fit on here. But Michelle Stuchel also posts a lot about the opportunity. Christina, there's tons more. Katie Wiggins that do a fantastic job posting about the business opportunity. Go follow them. They are successful for a reason. Follow them and take what they're doing and make it your own and take action, take it consistently, and go create some business builders. All right.